Not sure what did we decide on something, really?
No.
Not really.
But I can't say boring again.
We want to stay positive about it because we think the market's strong.
That's the truth. I really, truly can't say boring again, although that was trending last month. And it may for the remainder of the year.
Well, I think what we're trying to get the message today is, in spite of the market that we're being in a buyer's market, you could actually have a price increase in that market.
We need to get creative with how we're selling today. And there's nothing boring to that.
I think what one of our community in Windsor has to get used to the fact that our market is not mirroring Toronto and Vancouver and the various different things where they're having substantial drops in price and they're having substantial drops in sale. And that's what makes the news, right? It makes the news all the time. But let's not get carried away. Our market is still very stable and very strong. I mean, let's look at the fact that sales on the whole year are down 6% at this point in time from last year. And everybody thought last year was pretty good, pretty reasonable, and we're really the same. But all the threat of tariffs, everything else, all that outside stuff is affecting our mental approach to real estate here, and everybody, even our realtors, are feeling everything's down, everything. But it's really not. If you look at the stats, it's not down a whole lot. If it's down, at all. The point of it is we're not seeing the same kind of market trends as many of the other communities in the country.
See a lot of big words like belly up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that certainly is not a reflection of our market. So we definitely have a more positive outlook, despite what the rest of Ontario is doing. We're still quite affordable in comparison to those bigger markets. So we're looking up.
We've identified there was a lot more traffic in the upper end of the market this month. They commanded 48% of the market, and the lower end of the market was only 52%. And because of the upper end, it just pulled the prices up a little bit. So about a 0.5% increase. I think it was only about $1,000, but it was a price increase. And everybody's looking for a price decrease right now, and it may not happen.
We do continue to see encouraging signs of our market returning, but it truly is just continue to be stabilized. And we're coming into the summer months, and we don't ever expect the summer months to be wild. So our spring market, it didn't come, and that's fine. But our summer months, they're predictable. People are still looking to relocate potentially before school starts in September. Their families are moving on up, and there is stability for those people that no matter what's happening in the world, their lives change. And when families grow, houses need to as well.
One point I wanted to make out too is that those who have the money, who can afford it, when we're talking about the upper market, was that there were 35 or 36 houses that sold for over $1 million. So that market particularly is not as affected by the tariffs and by the various different outside influences that we're having right now. They're still trading and they're buying homes in that market, and we had a pretty good market with regard to home sales and above $1 million. So it's quite that pull that price up.
But we are halfway through the year, and honestly, we haven't seen too many massive increases or decreases, which we're learning to deal with. And this is something that I think we'll probably see for the remainder of the year. We are still seeing good numbers coming from home sales, and we have a lot of expectations still, as we have been mentioning, with sellers and unrealistic expectations for price points. And we have over 2,000 listings presently active in Windsor-Essex, which is the most we have seen in a very long time.
Yeah, we haven't seen that for years. And I think that's that just, there's people that are hanging on. We keep saying that, but there are people that are hanging on trying to sell their house for a higher price, and they have to get to be realistic about their pricing. And generally those who do, and if they do it right away, they sell their houses because, what do we see? Days on market are still about 26, 27 days. Yeah. So it's that number hasn't changed. So those who are pricing sell. Those who are not pricing it properly they're languishing. They're sitting there for months and months and so on and so forth.
Our buyers out there, obviously, you have a lot of choice, which is fantastic. We've been in a buyer's market for quite some time now, which means that you have options. So interest rates are coming down, and it seems impossible to time the market perfectly. And so we may be getting advice from all people, all the different people in our lives. But we have to sit down with financial advisors. We have to sit down with their realtors. We have to ask them when the best time is to get into the market. And I would argue that right now is a fantastic time to get into the market because there's so much choice out there for you. There are great homes sitting on the market for no reason. It's just because there's so much product on the market. And so here's an opportunity to really get exactly what you want with the conditions that you want and favorable terms. And so now is a fantastic time to do that before our market does potentially start to pick up again. And when that's going to happen, we aren't really positive. So timing the market, as I said, is next to impossible.
And just a couple of years ago, you weren't able to look at 5 or 6 or 10 homes before you made a decision to buy one, right? So having that ability to look at a lot of houses is a great opportunity. But at the same time, we have to also impress on buyers that, listen, interest rates may come down, but they probably won't. Mm-hmm. They may not come in. With all the stuff that's going on, not sure that the interest rates are going to drop. So you shouldn't hesitate to move on a house. Right now, the variable rates are under 4%, so it's not bad. Don't make that your decision, right? The interest rate isn't a decision. Go and look at the houses because you do have a great supply of houses and you can negotiate. We're seeing houses with conditions in it now. We're seeing offers with conditions in it being accepted, realizing that that's what we ought to do to sell the house. So that's not the case. It wasn't the case a while back. But now it's pretty common.
One of the questions we get constantly are people holding offers? Are we receiving multiple offers? And today that's not happening as frequently. I think the only time that that's happening is if it's in a very particular area where there hasn't been a home for sale in a little while. They know it's going to move quickly, so they're going to want to be able to get that traffic through and allow lots of people to see the house before they look at offers. Does that result in multiple offers with thousands of dollars over asking? Very rarely. So I think you have to know the expectations of your client when you're out there searching with your client. If they're looking to move on something quickly, obviously your realtor's in control of what's happening on the other end and will advise you as to what you should do. And we don't know what the seller and what the listing realtor is going to do. So we really have to vouch for our buyers and protect them in today's market.
Having said that, the realtors are still trying to get multiple offers. So they'll set a time for offers to be presented. So they are trying to get multiple offers for the seller. That continues to be the case. When it doesn't work out, they have to recalibrate and redo the listing and go a different route. But that strategy isn't working as often. Yeah. And what we see too is that I'm not getting a lot of multiple offers. So I'm not into that 10 and 15. That isn't happening at all. And you're not seeing as high a price being offered. They're much more likely to come in with the list price.
For our sellers, I think the one word that I can try to continue to say, not only to our agents, but to the sellers out there today, is to be patient. This isn't a fast, there's no fast and hard rules as to how to sell a home. It takes time and skill, negotiation, all the things that we love to do, and we need time to do them. So remain patient and listen to your realtor as to the best strategy to sell your house as quickly as we can.
And one more thing that sellers really have to look right now, which they didn't before because they had no competition. You need to look at the competition today. How many other houses similar to mine are being sold in my neighborhood, or for example, in South Windsor, where all the buyers who come to my house are going to look at? So you got to realize that competition is now occurring, and it's going to take them longer to make a decision. And the bottom line is your house better measure up in terms of the competition, because there is competition for the sale of a house now. Before, you didn't have it, right? Because there was no inventory.
If you're a seller, don't be disheartened when you see lots of conditions in your offer, you also have someone representing you that can negotiate the best terms for you. But of course, we're going to see buyers protecting themselves today. And usually we can see conditions being wrapped up anywhere between 7 to 10 days. They're not lengthy conditions, and we have to deal with what's in front of us. So obviously your listing agent is going to protect you, and the buyer's agent is going to protect their buyer. So be negotiable, obviously, to the terms in front of you, as that's what we're seeing a lot of today. Not too many cash offers out there.
We still have salespeople coming to us saying, it hasn't sold in 2 weeks. Well,
That's life.
come on. It won't sell in 2 weeks.
No.
So that's basically it. But so you talked about patience. Have some patience. You'll get it sold, and you'll be able to move to where you want to go.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us again for another market breakdown. We will see you again next month. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us at Royal Lepage Binder Real Estate. We would be happy to help you with any of your real estate needs.